Hey everyone, so this video is very different from the rest. I mean, like, I make different videos, like, let's say, every month or less. Seriously, I turn from, like, texting story to animation to you reposted in the wrong. Also, since this is a different video I'm making, it's also my first one, so don't expect it to be good. Quickly before I start this video, I recommend you go watch Gerenal Mayhem before you watch this video. Yes, Gerenal, not General. General Mayhem was season 1. I say this because you probably won't understand anything I'm about to say in this video. Anyways, let's begin with this video. Who murdered UKULELE? At the beginning of the video, we see Teams 2's boat and a speedboat right next to it. Then we see UKULELE get pushed off the ship's cabin with someone holding the lava launcher, but we only see their hand. UKULELE talks to the figure, saying that killing her won't keep all this a secret. She attempts to throw a paper aeroplane with all the evidence but fails. After that, she got struck on the back by the lava launcher physically, and she gets hit in the face again physically by the lava launcher. And it's at this scene I want to talk about later on in this video. And this is probably not the first time we've seen the killer. What do I mean? When Coral finds UKULELE, Test appears out of the bushes and is declared the murderer by Tombstone at the end of the episode. Now, Test was a contestant in Object Games. He didn't really do anything up until the stinger of episode 6 where he reads his own pain book. Anyways, moving on. The blurb on the back states that the murderous rampage will happen. This is exactly what we see in episode 4 in Gerenal Mayhem, when Carpet throws the book at Test. But if this book causes murderous rampages, then why haven't Carpet and Flash or Passport caused a murderous rampage? Is it only when you read it? It works for Test in Object Games, but it seemed to work either way for Test in Gerenal Mayhem, even if you didn't have to read it. Is it because of Test's most used line, not the pressure? I don't think so. I think the murderous rampage only applies to Test. In fact, I have a better theory. When we first see the book in Gerenal Mayhem, we immediately think that Test is writing down the names of the people he wants to kill or injure. But in reality, I think it's the fact that someone is giving the pain to Test. He finds the book out of nowhere in Object Games. He doesn't know what it is until he finds it and reads it. After that, he said, "Who wrote this freaking garbage and what are they trying to do?" However, something contradicts this theory: the use of the apostrophe in the book's name. I don't know too much about apostrophes, but we know for an obvious fact that it's called Test's Pain Book with an apostrophe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure an apostrophe can imply that the name of the thing can belong to someone. This could be a mistake, but I think it was done intentionally. The apostrophe still remains in Gerenal Mayhem after the book's redesign, and if someone has a grudge against Test for some reason, then it would be smart to include that apostrophe. Anyway, seeing as what happened in episode 8 of Object Games, it seems like the murderous rampage is only temporary, as we see Mailbox throwing a bomb at Test to avenge Lamp, then suddenly he turns back to normal and then dies. But there's something else I want to say about Test's Pain Book. After Test went psycho crazy in Gerenal Mayhem, and got defeated quickly by Sketchpad, Mascara states that Test must have read his pain book much earlier than we all initially thought. But episode 6 of Object Games shows that Test turns evil immediately. Now let's get back to the question of this video. Who murdered UKULELE? Was it Test? I don't think so. Firstly, let me explain what Test meant by when he escaped from prison. In Object Games, he was eliminated in episode 8 along with 6 other people because they died because of Test, with the exception of himself by Mailbox. And prison is the form of elimination for contestants. Also, there's another thing. If we compare the murderer and Test's picture side by side with a bit of brightening up of the killer, we see that Test is too wide and isn't the murderer. I also tried doing this with Carpet because he's the only rectangular person to have any conflict with UKULELE in Gerenal Mayhem, basically season 1, but he doesn't fit, he's way too short. I also tried to apply this with Sketchpad because he owns the lava launcher, but that's busted. I've seen people in the comments saying that it was Piano Key, but here's the thing, obviously he's way too shy. I mean, Taco acted all dipsy in Inanimate Insanity to make the viewers like her more. You could say the same thing with Piano Key, but like with Carpet, Test and Sketchpad, he doesn't fit. Piano Key is too thin. Unless the killer's asset is just a template, but that's highly unlikely, but it's still possible. In fact, if this is the case, then I have one final assumption. The host himself, Tombstone. And we know this thanks to courtesy of Passport and the intro. In Gerenal Mayhem, there's a small gag in the intro where Tombstone is on screen. He's given a nickname. In episode 1, he's nicknamed Some Lame Host. Episode 2, Some Ugly Monster. Episode 3, Strange Danger. But what about episode 4? The True Murderer. Spoilers. At first it didn't really seem like that was the case, because Tombstone is armless and the killer is armed, no pun intended. However, Taco had arms in Inanimate Insanity, but revealed them in episode 11, by appearing out of her shell. She is also able to hide them as shown in Inanimate Insanity 2, episode 9. However, Tombstone has no way of hiding his arms. Another reason why I think Tombstone is the murderer is because of what he said to Passport. Listen to what Passport and Tombstone said during this scene.
Let me guess. Was it because of this?
Hey, what even is that anyway?
Passport, please explain to the court what that stupid picture book is.
Did you figure it out? Tombstone said, Passport, please explain to the court what that stupid picture book is. Passport never opened a page or said that it was a picture book, and therefore I think either A, Tombstone is just assuming it's a picture book, or B, he's the one who actually wrote it. I have one final theory for why Tombstone is the murderer. UKULELE isn't present in the contestant graveyard, and Tombstone wants her gone from the world and turn her into a statue. In the first episode, we see that Tombstone is saying that half of the contestants were peacefully removed from the set. The way he said it, and the captions present it with the marks, suggests that he was actually pretty brutal with it. He also says later on that he brought all of the good contestants back. Him saying that tells us that he doesn't like UKULELE, and wants to send her back to the contestant graveyard. Even if Tombstone isn't the murderer, it could be a friend of his, but I'm not completely sure. This is where I can no longer talk. So what's my final answer to who killed UKULELE? Tombstone, but I'm not so sure. If not, then it's probably someone who works for Tombstone. But that's not all. I have other things that I want to say that may or may not be related to the murder of UKULELE. General Mayhem, Gerenal Mayhem, Town Attack, and General Mayhem Recommended Character Challenge are known for making several references to character appearances, already said lines, and plots like the one we talked about with Test. Or just small Easter eggs. When Gluestick got eliminated in Gerenal Mayhem, we see what seems to be a peeled lemon. This could be a reference to General Mayhem episode 5 when Apricot put lemon in the freezer, and that lemon is trying to escape at the end of episode 2 in Gerenal Mayhem. We also see Apricot holding the paper aeroplane that UKULELE attempted to throw. When Piano Key attempts to cooperate with his team, we see a piece of paper on a palm tree. We also see several cannons throughout the entire episode. Several are just in the background and one's in a cloud. Also when Mascara talks to Nugget, we see Speaker's wine glass. After that, when Coral sees them interacting, we see a spiderweb on the bush. However, that's not really that important. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about this. Let me know who you think the murderer is of UKULELE and any theories you've got. Anyways, yeah, that's all I've got to say for this video. So bye everyone, let me know what you think. Bye bye.